Hi and welcome to Hedger Pro. In today's video, I'll walk you through creating a betting strategy using the research tool. Whether you're new to Hedger Pro or looking to refine your approach, this step-by-step guide will help you make the most of the powerful features within it. So, without further delay, let's dive in. When you log into Hedger Pro, you'll see four main tabs at the top of the dashboard: Cards, Research, Portfolio, and Bets. Now, each serves a specific purpose, but today we're focusing on the Research tab where all the betting strategies are created. I've received feedback asking for a back to basics video on the Research tool, so that's exactly what we're doing today. As you can see, I've selected the Research tab now. It's highlighted in blue and the screen is currently blank because I haven't had any filters yet. So this is where your strategy creation begins. The first step in creating a system is to name it. So click New, enter a name for your system, and then hit Add. I've already created a placeholder system called Blank, so I'll use this for the demonstration. Now, once you've named your system, it's a good idea to add notes. This is where you can describe the system's purpose. For example, I've noted that this is a backing system focused on the top end of the market, excluding longer shots, and using fixed liability staking. So add notes that help you stay organized and keep your goals clear as you build and refine your strategies. I'm just going to briefly talk about staking options. This is a crucial part of creating any betting system. Now, with the Research tool, you have two main choices for both back and lay bets: fixed liability and fixed profit. Fixed liability for back-in, this means your stake is consistent for each bet, providing predictability and control over your exposure, whereas fixed profit for back-in, here your stake adjusts based on the odds to achieve a target profit. For lay-in, fixed liability, the odds determine how much you stand to gain, while your liability bet remains fixed. And fixed profit for lay-in, this targets a consistent profit amount, but higher odds increases your exposure. So choosing the right option here depends on your goals and your risk tolerance, but for today's strategy, I'll be using fixed liability with a straightforward approach. Now, another essential feature of the Research tool is the anti-backfitting, and I've set it for 12 months here, which creates a column later on when we research, showing the system's performance over the past year. Now, this helps to ensure your system remains relevant and avoids over-optimization based on outdated data. For example, you don't want a system that's performed exceptionally well years ago but has flatlined recently. So the anti-backfit helps identify systems and deliver results across different timeframes. So here I am clicking on the notepad. So now we've clicked the notepad, you see the option to scroll down and view the filters, add or remove, and make any changes. Now the first filter I want to look at is including odds. And now you should notice this is a prompt to read the manual with this one, as it's not the odds setting you think it is. So if we select this and read the manual, a quick way is to Control F and then type what you're searching for. And in this case, we're searching for odds filter. So in a nutshell, this explains the filter that can exclude horses out of the odds range we set when we're viewing our shortlist from the race cards, which I will get to in another video. But this actually makes things much simpler when we're going through our daily systems before placing bets, as we don't have to trawl through horses that have no chance of being included, as they would be wildly out of our odds range. Very useful. So you can set it as broad or narrow as you want, but bear in mind that if you set it too narrow, you may miss a market mover that occurs after you've scheduled your bet. In this example, I'm setting it to a max of 10 decimal. So I'm covering everything I need with that odds range. By grabbing the scroll bar to the right, we can move down the available filter options until we find either something that sparks our interest to include in the research or something already have in mind to add to the filters. Now I have a clear idea about what I want to add. As you know, I'm looking at backing horses that are at the top end of the market using a fixed liability, and I want to include the classifications filter. So I select it, moving the mouse over it, clicking it, and you see it's highlighted in green, so that shows it's activated. Now I'd like to exclude maidens, as they are, in my opinion, fiercely competitive given none of the horses haven't won yet, and usually contain a tight group that has shown some signs of coming close. So I tick maidens and I move down to field. We can see there I'm adding in the field numbers. Now a point to note here is that when you actually add in the numbers from the list, you add in the number on the right first. It's the way the system calculates it and it saves resources. So if I add in 14 there, I can add in 5. So that's absolutely no problem at all. Just a handy hint there. So when you are doing it in the list, because you can do it on the filter side on the right further on, just add it on the right hand side first, then move to the left. Now moving further down the list, I include class, and no, class 4 and 5 are the most popular overall, the highest percentage share of betting, so select them. But I also notice above that I've added maiden but left a drop down as include instead of exclude. So that would mean the research would have excluded everything else and only focused on including maiden, but not what I want, of course. So I select exclude from the drop down list. And here we are on the day of the week, and today I just want to work on Monday's betting. So I select Monday, and as you can see, that is an include. Now the next filter I want to add is QPR, which you can of course find in the manual I shown earlier how to navigate through there. But this is basically a quality performance rating. It's an AI generated rating that combines stats known to have a good effect on the in-running performance. So in this case, we're looking at jockeys, as you can see, and I want them to have a decent in-running performance for my system. So I select QPR to add to the filters, and I will put in a starting range between 40 to 100. 100 being the maximum performance, and 40 being, around about the mid-range performance for the jockeys. So if you start at 0, it goes to 100. So we're going to go 40 to 100 on that one. I also select MTP and put that to 1 minute to post. So the system will look at 1 minute to post to select any qualifying horses. And that's exactly where I want it, at that sort of range in the market. I want to be looking as close to post time as possible. And then also put some odds in. So the range I'm looking to work in is odds of 2 to 4. So a 1 minute to post, anything that qualifies odds of 2 to 4, that's what we're looking at. So with our filters in place, it's time to click research, and I do that. So this generates a performance graph and detailed stats, including profit, drawdown, and bet volume. For this strategy, we're looking at 18 bets per Monday on average, with over 300 points profit across 46 months. So the drawdown is actually manageable at 32 points, which aligns with my goal of creating a low risk system. So that's 32 points over the past year, but overall since February 21 to November 24, it's a 76 point drawdown, which is quite a lot, I think. So we can do a lot better than that. So you may have also noticed the anti-backfit column showing results for the past 12 months on the top right there, where you can see the 12 months of 62 points and drawdown at 36. Now this is invaluable, ensuring the system remains effective in the current market. I use this with every strategy creation to make sure that the line is the most recent bets are as relevant as the historical bets, and it's a steady line of growth. So this is just raw data that's pumped into it at the moment. We haven't done any refinement. We just put the filters in place, and I'm going to show you now how you can then work with the initial concept that you've had, as I've done here. I've gone through and thought, yeah, these filters are what I'm looking for, and then you can make any adjustments from the information that you're presented with and use that. So as I go over this now, you can see that I'm looking across at the filter boxes, and you're getting a lot of information on pie graphs and line graphs. And you look there, the hurdle racing, which is about 24% of the actual bets that have been placed there, that's showing a loss, as well as the maiden. So I could exclude that if I wanted to and run a research, see if that's actually effective, see if it's something profitable. When you do that, it affects everything else. So don't overdo it. Don't just run a load of searches at once. Do them individually, one at a time, assess what you've done, and then you do have the option to go back and forth. So if I make a change here by dragging the highlighted area, click research to the jockey stats, you can see straight away it's brought the drawdown for the past 12 months down, and overall it's affected the points balance. But I can just click the hands left and right, go back and forth, and you can see that I can view them side by side and do a comparison. So that is really useful, an effective way of using the research tool. It just makes everything so much easier, and you're not going to lose anything that you've done previously. You can just go back to it by clicking back until you get to the search that you want. Now, point to note, when you've actually saved it and you've landed on something that you want to keep, you can't go back any further than that. That's it. So you put in your marker down saying this is where I want to stop, and then build from this point forward. So this is why I'm saying just take your time and go through. So if I just click on this, as you can see, you can do that from the actual list or the graph on the side. If I include hurdle to exclude, you'll see there again it's changed it, and it's changed the overall outcome. The drawdown again has dropped down. Points not quite as impressive, not really what I'm looking for. And you can also notice possibly that's affected everything else in the graphs there. So the jockey stats are different. Something else I can notice above there as well is the class of the race. It's brought class 3 into it. But hopefully, just me sitting here talking over the top of what I'm doing, just researching, adjusting filters, reacting to the data, seeing how things may affect the overall outcome positively or negatively. It's giving you some confidence to actually come up with your own ideas and dive in. Now, these strategies that I'm showing you here, you can have a complete portfolio to go with in January. They'll have every day of the week to be backing and laying, each showing a profit. All this data in the system is not going to be hidden. It'll be there for you to fully customize and make your own, or just run it straight out of the box and start scheduling bets from the strategies that I include with Hedger Pro in January with this exciting new update. And as mentioned, I will go over this again and again in more detail, and these systems will be explained fully for you before you get your hands on them. So for now, let's refine the system, and I've adjusted the odds range there to 3.5 between 4.5. Hit research, and this improves both profitability and the drawdown while keeping the bet volume consistent. However, like I said earlier, small steps and little things that you can notice can make a huge difference. And as I'm looking over the information here with the filters, I noticed the MTP on 1 minute to post isn't as good as 4 minutes to post. So I select 4 minutes to post there, and it changes it to 4 MTP in the list. Click research, and what a difference this makes to the overall performance. Past 12 months, smashing it, 114 points. 9-point drawdown, 303 overall from January 21, and 32-point drawdown. That's amazing. We started off with 32-point drawdown over the past 12 months, and now you can see with those subtle changes, it's made a gigantic difference. Now with that change as well, the calculation that we did to ascertain, the daily bet volume, you can see there that puts us on approximately 11 average bets per day overall, with the number of bets placed from January 2021 every Monday over the 46 months, which is fine. That's absolutely brilliant. 11 bets per day, fantastic. That's a nice, consistent, very busy, active system. If we can do that every day of the week, we're winning. That's the goal. So happy with that, you click save. That system is now yours. That is in your portfolio list. That system is saved, blank is saved with those settings. It's not going anywhere, and you can use that on a daily basis within the race cards to schedule your bets and work through that, either race to race, or as I said, place them at the start of the day, and they'll just run according to any scheduling parameters you've put in place. And we're very happy with that. Overall, that beats everything hands down. Doing a quick comparison to the previous one there, but yeah. Very happy with that. That's what we've saved. The 303 points overall, 114 over the past 12 months, saved and in the bank. So just to wrap up, because I know it's been a long video, once you're satisfied, save your system by giving it a descriptive name like Monday Value Bet. So keeping your systems organized will make them easier to manage in the portfolio tab later, and you can always return to refine or copy the systems or create variations. So you just click copy there, you get the option to give it a new name. Click OK when you've given it the name. I eventually type it in, Monday Value Bet. Yeah, not bet. Okay, so I click OK, and that will appear in the system list that you've created. But you do need to refresh the browser first at this moment in time. It doesn't automatically appear there. So if you save it and you've made a copy of it, don't panic. It is going to be there. You can then also come back. I said once I've refreshed it here, you'll see it appear. You can then also come back and you can delete blank, because that's obviously been your template to start with. So if you made it this far, because I said I do know it's a long video, thanks for watching. I hope the walkthrough has shown you how to create and refine a betting system using a research tool in Hedger Pro, but don't worry if it hasn't, because there'll be lots more content to come. In my next video, I'll demonstrate building a lay betting system, so stay tuned for that. If you found this video helpful, please put a like on the video on YouTube, help us grow some presence on here, subscribe and leave a comment below with any questions or suggestions. I'd love to hear your thoughts or ideas to future videos, and head over to Substack and search for Hedger Pro, subscribe there, and of course then you'll get an invite to join when we are ready to launch this in January. So Thanks again for watching, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.